How do you handle social media criticism without losing your cool? 1. Acknowledge quickly. Own up that mistake without delay. Avoid playing the blame game. 2. A simple, oops, we missed the mark here, goes a long way. Trust me. 3. Show that you care by addressing the issue publicly. 4. Silence isn't just a golden here. Speak up before it escalates. Remember, personal branding or online reputation is just not important, it is a necessity today.
What if I told you that being can actually hurt your brand on social media? Yeah, you heard that right. In today's video, we're diving into how you can be authentic while still maintaining your professionalism and why this balance matters more than ever. Because at the end of the day, people connect with people, not perfectly curated feeds. Let's go. We're bombarded with content every single day. People crave realness. They're tired of the fake filters and perfectly curated lives. We follow brands and influencers who feel genuine, not those who seem scripted. Authenticity builds trust. When people see your real self, they're more likely to believe in what you say and ultimately what you sell. 77% of consumers are more likely to buy from a brand they follow on social media if that brand seems authentic. If you only post perfectly polished content, you'll come off as robotic. Nobody wants to connect with a robot. When you're representing a company, it's easy to fall into the trap of being. People don't connect with logos, they connect with people. Your audience connects with not just your brand logo. Overly curated, stiff content can make your brand seem out of touch. People are turned off by perfection. They want to see the human side. Introduce some content into your posts. Show the process, the missteps, the bloopers. This makes you more relatable and shows that you're not afraid to let your guard down. Nothing connects people better than stories. From the time we're kids, we're drawn to stories. Stories don't have to be epic, life-changing events. Share your small wins, challenges, or lessons learned along the way. Maybe you finally launched that website after months of work, or maybe you bombed a presentation but learned something valuable. These moments make you relatable. Think about Apple. They don't just talk about their products, they tell stories about how people their products, they're selling a lifestyle, not just a gadget. You can do the same with your personal brand or business. We've talked about being real, showing your human side. But how much is too much? While being authentic is important, you also want to maintain professionalism. You don't want to air all your dirty laundry on social media. Be honest about challenges, but avoid sharing every personal detail. Be transparent, but within context. Share parts of your life or business journey that add value to your audience. You don't need to post every frustration or personal struggle unless it ties into a larger lesson. There's a fine line between authenticity and informality. Being authentic doesn't mean being sloppy. Just because you want to come across as real doesn't mean you should forget grammar, ignore brand voice, or post without strategy. You can still be professional and strategic while being your authentic self. Focus on conversational language. Keep it relaxed, but professional. Avoid jargon. Speak like you're talking to a friend. But remember, you're still representing your brand. Look at a brand like Airbnb. Their casual tone feels personal and friendly, but you never forget they're still a serious, professional company. Being authentic also means being present and interactive. Don't just post content and forget about it. Engage with your audience, respond to comments, answer questions, have real conversations. Authenticity shines when you take the time to comment back, answer questions, or even like and share user-generated content. Social media is a two-way conversation. If you're just broadcasting your message without engaging, you'll come off as detached and out of touch. Nobody wants to follow someone who doesn't even care enough to respond. A simple thanks for your comment can turn a follower into a loyal fan. Consistency is important, but if you sound like you're posting on autopilot, your audience will pick up on that and lose interest. They want to connect with a human. Create a posting schedule, but leave room for spontaneous, in-the-moment content. Real-time engagement makes you feel more connected to your audience. Look at Wendy's on Twitter. Their witty and quick responses to followers make them stand out. While they have scheduled promotions, their real-time engagement is what makes them memorable. People don't just connect with what you do, they connect with you do it. What are your core values? What do you stand for? Share the values that drive you, whether it's in your business or personal life. People want to know that they're supporting someone who stands for something meaningful. This goes beyond just selling a product or service. Align your values with your content strategy. If sustainability is one of your core values, show how you're contributing to that cause in both your personal and professional life. Authenticity also means being adaptable. You've got to listen to your audience. If you notice that a particular type of content resonates more with your audience, lean into that. The more you listen to your audience, the better you can serve them. Pay attention to the comments, likes, shares, and DMs. Use this feedback loop to shape your content strategy. Adapt, evolve, and always put your audience first. Don't be afraid to show your vulnerable side. Being vulnerable doesn't mean being weak. It means you're confident enough to be real. Share the challenges you've faced in your journey, whether it's growing your business or managing your personal brand. This makes you more relatable and human. People connect to the just as much as the success. Look at Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. When she shared her failures and how she used them as learning moments, it helped solidify her as an authentic leader. So, how do you stay authentic without losing your professionalism? It's all about balance. Be real, share your story, engage with your audience, but don't forget that professionalism still matters. Authenticity isn't about being perfect, it's about being and relatable. People are craving connection. They want to see the real you. So go out there, be yourself, and watch your audience respond. Have you struggled to balance authenticity with professionalism in your own social media?
Avoid playing the blame game. A simple, oops, we missed the mark here, goes a long way. Show that you care by addressing the issue publicly. Silence isn't golden here. Speak up before it escalates. You've owned up to the mistake and acknowledged it quickly. Now what's next? Handling criticism is only half the story. The real magic happens when you turn that negative feedback into a learning moment for your brand. 1. Listen actively. Criticism is feedback in disguise. Think about it. People don't usually criticize unless they care. Take time to really understand what's being said, beyond the anger or sarcasm. What's the core issue? This is your chance to ask, what can we improve here? Example, when Netflix faced backlash for increasing subscription prices, they didn't ignore the complaints. They listened and explained their rationale, balancing customer feedback with the business decisions. They didn't change the pricing, but they made people feel heard. This is key to maintaining long-term trust. 2. Respond with empathy. After you've listened, empathize. Show that you truly get where the critic is coming from. Use phrases like, "We understand how this could be frustrating," or "Thanks for your patience while we figure this out together." Why this works? Empathy humanizes your brand, transforming a faceless company into one that actually cares. People forgive mistakes when they know you're on their side. 3. Highlight the changes you're making. If you've learned something from the criticism, show it. Walk your audience through the adjustments you're planning to make based on their feedback. Example, remember when Coca-Cola tried to change their formula in the 80s? Customers hated it. Instead of doubling down, Coke listened, reverted to the old formula, and branded it as classic Coca-Cola. It became one of the greatest examples of how listening to your audience can lead to growth, even from failure. 4. Engage in dialogue, not debate. Be collaborative, not combative. The last thing you want is a back-and-forth argument with a disgruntled customer or follower. Instead of trying to win the debate, open up a dialogue. Ask them how you could improve moving forward. This invites a more constructive conversation. Pro tip: not every comment deserves a public response. If the issue is particularly heated, consider moving it to a private message or email for a more focused resolution. 5. Turn it into positive PR. Believe it or not, criticism can actually fuel your brand's image. Use the feedback to show how responsive and proactive your brand is in solving problems. Example: remember the KFC chicken shortage in the UK? Instead of avoiding the disaster, KFC owned it by creating a light-hearted ad apologizing to their customers. The ad said, FCK in big, bold letters, immediately acknowledging the issue in a playful, memorable way. The response? People appreciated the honesty and humor, and KFC came out stronger. Humor and humility go a long way in transforming negative feedback into positive press. Number 6. Encourage constructive criticism. Your best critics are your biggest fans in disguise. Invite your audience to share more of their thoughts. Open the floor to suggestions. Frame criticism as a chance for improvement. We'd love to hear how we can do better next time. This makes people feel like they are part of your journey, and in turn, builds stronger loyalty. 7. Focus on long-term solutions, not quick fixes. Don't just respond to calm the storm temporarily. Be committed to lasting changes. For example, if your criticism is about poor customer service, don't just respond with a one-time discount. Consider revising your customer service strategy for the long term. Action step: follow up. After you've implemented changes, circle back to the critic and thank them for their input. Show them how their feedback directly shaped the improvement. 8. Know when to let it go. Some criticism is unwinnable. Trolls and toxic comments exist, and they thrive off attention. If you've addressed the situation and engaged with empathy, but the person is still pushing buttons, it's okay to disengage. Pro tip: have a clear policy for dealing with trolling or harassment. Block or mute accounts that cross the line. Your energy is better spent on constructive feedback.